Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Shruti Mishra and with me is Ritu Singh. These are the top headlines from the startup space. After months of mudslinging, BharatPe management buries the hatchet with former MD Ashneer Grover and signs an out-of-court settlement, decides to withdraw all cases against Grover and his wife. The settlement comes 10 days after Grover's brother-in-law was arrested by the police. Google Baghdad 24/7 acquires Prep Insta. The edtech looks to transition from a test prep platform to an integrated provider of job-focused education and skilling programs across public and private sector jobs. PB Fintech management clarifies on their proposed healthcare foray. Group CEO Yashish Dahiya tells CNBC-TV18 that they may look at a one-time investment of $100 million for a minority stake of 20 to 30% in a new company. Adds that they have no intention to make a recurring investment in the company. Legendary Indian cricketer Sachin Tendulkar joins health tech startup Sugar.fit's cap table. Along with the strategic investment, Tendulkar also comes on board as the brand ambassador. Mental health platform Listen secures $2.5 million led by early-stage consumer venture capital firm RPG Capital Ventures. Funds will be used for expanding network of centers, enhancing technological infrastructure, and broadening range of service offerings. Kunal Behel and Rohit Bansal-backed Titan Capital launches Indicons, a first-of-its-kind index of India's most profitable startups. Indicons represents a new class of companies that have not only reached the 100 crore rupee revenue mark but have also achieved profitability. Epic Games accuses Google and Samsung of conspiring to protect Google's Play Store from competition, says it would file a lawsuit in US federal court alleging that a Samsung smartphone security feature called Auto Blocker deterred users from downloading Android apps from sources other than the Play Store or Samsung's Galaxy Store. Well, those were the headlines that we are tracking from. Fintech firm BharatPe has settled a 2-year legal dispute with former managing director Ashneer Grover. In a statement, the company has decided to withdraw all cases against Grover and his wife. This settlement has come 10 days after Grover's brother-in-law was arrested by the police. Rachna Dhanrajani joins us now with the details. Rachna, is this an end to the BharatPe saga?
As you said, it is after months of public mudslinging allegations and counter-allegations, the BharatPe management has buried the hatchet with former managing director Ashneer Grover. Under the terms of the settlement, certain shares held by Ashneer will be transferred to the Resilient Growth Trust, which is the parent company of BharatPe, while his remaining shares will be managed by his family trust. Both the parties have agreed to drop all ongoing legal cases against each other, and so BharatPe, in an official statement, said that Ashneer Grover will not be associated with BharatPe in any capacity anymore. It all started with BharatPe's parent company Resilient Innovations alleging discrepancies in vendor invoices and claimed that some HR consultancies associated with the company had been set up to siphon off funds. BharatPe had in fact filed a criminal complaint in December 2022 against Ashneer Grover, his wife Madhuri Jain and her family, including her father, brother and brother-in-law. An FIR was also filed by the Economic Offences Wing of Delhi Police in May 2023 for this financial misconduct of about 81 crore rupees. In November 2023, a lookout circular was issued against both Ashneer Grover and Madhuri Jain, preventing them from travelling abroad. And the couple were then stopped at Delhi's Indira Gandhi National Airport last year while attempting to fly to New York due to financial misconduct allegations. Just last month, the Economic Offences Wing of the Delhi Police made its first arrest in the case. Amit Kumar Bhansal, who was arrested for being one of the members of the non-existing firms that had received payments of rupees 72 crore from the then directors of BharatPe between 2019 and 2021. And just 10 days ago, Deepak Gupta, who's Ashneer and Madhuri's brother-in-law, was also arrested. And now both the sides have settled the case. So what happens to BharatPe now? The company's 3 co-founders held a sizable shareholding. Ashneer held over 8%, Shashwat Nakrani held 4.8% and Bhavik Koladia held about 2.3%. Only Shashwat and Bhavik are now with the company's management. Ashneer had accused Bhavik Koladia of data theft. Bhavik had also transferred some shares to Ashneer, for which he claims he never got paid. We've also learned from our sources that as a part of this settlement, those shares will now be transferred back to Bhavik, increasing his stake in the company to over 4%. Coupled with the surrender and return of the shares, Ashneer will now be left with 4% of the company, which will then be transferred to his family trust.
All right, Rachna, thanks for those details. Appreciate you joining us. Moving on, Policy Bazaar's parent company PB Fintech has clarified that it will be a minority investor in the company through which its healthcare foray will happen. Speaking to CNBC-TV18 Group CEO Yashish Dahiya said that PB Fintech may invest up to $100 million in the new healthcare company for a 20 to 30% stake, subject to board approval. He added that it will be a one-time investment. The venture will aim to address the trust gap between hospitals, insurance companies and patients.
PB Fintech is looking to make an investment subject to board approval in a separate venture, which actually is not a PB Fintech subsidiary. PB Fintech would probably be a minority investor between 20 to 35% equity holding, right? And this venture, for lack of a better word, let's just call it XYZ. XYZ has its own life beyond that, and PB Fintech's liability is limited to that first investment. It does not have any compulsion to keep investing into the future, right? And all this is subject to board approval.
Also on what's brewing, Sugar.fit, a health tech startup dedicated to managing and reversing type 2 and pre-diabetes, has onboarded cricketer Sachin Tendulkar as its brand ambassador and strategic investor. Having recently launched a range of products such as sugar control atta, rice juice, vinegar and diabetes protein powder, Sugar.fit claims these products support better blood sugar management and overall health, complementing its holistic approach to diabetes care. To elaborate more on the road ahead, joining me now is its co-founder and CEO, Madan Somasundaram. Madan, welcome to Startup Street. Elaborate on this strategic partnership with Sachin Tendulkar. How much stake does he own and what kind of investment has he made? Also, if you could throw some light on the kind of impact you hope to make in the battle against type 2 diabetes with him on board, what will his role be?
Great. No, thanks for having me. I think we are super excited as a company to onboard the master in his own right, Sachin Tendulkar, who comes aboard us as a strategic investor as well as brand ambassador. We all know, I think India suffers from hundreds of millions of people who are suffering from diabetes and pre-diabetes. And we want to be at the forefront of that fight, right? To help people live better, make permanent lifestyle changes, to really reap the rewards of life rather than struggling with a disease like type 2 diabetes for life, right? We feel that Sachin Tendulkar brings much needed trust. I think as a brand, obviously, we feel we have a very strong product, outcomes are phenomenal, but obviously evangelism, and that too coming from a very trusted person like Sachin Tendulkar, will elevate our brand presence and really enable us to really impact more and more people, right? I think our goal, North Star goal, is to impact millions of people who are diabetes. I think we've just started recently, but I think with Sachin on board, importantly, not only as a brand ambassador, but as an investor, will actually give us those additional wheels to go across, right?
Okay.
Personally, Tendulkar is a very big proponent of healthy lifestyle, right? I think so. I think matches folks to build this forward.
All right. While you've not given me any numbers, the kind of investments he's made, but moving on, you say that you currently have over 51,000 paid subscribers, 100 plus doctors and more than 300 coaches. Explain your model to us. Are these doctors and coaches exclusive to Sugar.fit? And what is the kind of investment you've had to make in this team? What does it cost for an individual to buy these plans? Is it a one-time cost? And most importantly, do people need to stop the allopathic medication when on your therapy?
Yeah, our goal is very simple, right? We want to help people live better, reduce reliance on medication and insulin. And that's what we've seen most of our users. 90% of our users see substantial reduction in sugar levels when they join. Our program is very kind of full impact, right? It's a one-year subscription program where you get everything you need to manage diabetes. You get a hardware device which monitors your sugar in real time. We go to your house, do tests across the country throughout the year. And obviously, you're right, we have a full service layer, which includes our coaches and doctors. And I think I'm very happy to say, I think across most platforms, our engagement with coaches and doctors are phenomenal, right? And that's what enables us to see very strong outcomes. All of our coaches today are full-time on our payroll, and I think they drive specific outcomes for a lot of these users, right? Whether you're in Andhra Pradesh or Mumbai, across the country. So I think the whole goal is you pay upfront, you pay for a year subscription, and you see very strong outcomes, right? We've seen people who've been diabetic for 15 years, 25 years, who've really stopped medicine and really have enabled to live a much more fulfilling life, right? And that's our goal, to now scale this up quite significantly so more people are able to see the impact and benefit of such a program.
All right. Madan, you mentioned that you've seen about 90% of reduction in sugar levels and reduction on their reliance on medications. Is this more a management tool, or have you seen critical reversal of diabetes, especially in type 2, as we know that type 1 is not reversible? And also, are you going to take your results to regulatory bodies? What is the plan to patent, own, and then scale this technology?
Absolutely, you're right. Type 1 diabetes cannot be reversed. Type 2 also cured. But absolutely, most of our users see, when we say reversal, we mean we want to help you get off glycemic medication and bring your HbA1c below 6.5%, right? And that's what a significant percentage of our people see. We also have a very strong R&D arm, right? So we do significant amount of publication, poster presentations across the country, across the world, actually, not only in India, but in Europe and the US. And I think soon we will be putting out one of the largest randomized control trials of patients who've been through Sugar.fit's program versus normal programs. So this hand in hand, right? We are building a health company. Health takes trust. Health you have to build over the long term. Health requires outcomes. So we want to go that way, right? Build it the right way, build it step by step, and importantly, help people see very strong outcomes, because that's what eventually...
Absolutely. Very quickly, one final question, going back to the partnership you've announced, you've raised more money in this round, or is it only the investment by Sachin Tendulkar? And are you well monetized for growth in the next couple of quarters? What's the revenue to funding picture looking like?
Yeah, no, I think, as you know, probably we've raised money just earlier this year.
Yeah.
I think we are well capitalized. We have a very strong set of investors, great backing. Sachin Tendulkar comes as a strategic investor. So I think we have capital. I think now for us is, can we multiply the outcomes and scale? And with Sachin on board, hopefully we'll be able to take this to lots more people, right? Get the word out there and help a lot more people see the impact of a program like ours.
All right, Madan, we are pressed for time. Many thanks for joining us on Startup Street today, and wish you the very best for all your growth plans.
Thank you so much.
Moving on, Immune Biosciences, a clinical stage therapeutics company working towards creating new ways to treat and cure skin diseases, has raised a Series A funding round of $5 million led by Pi Ventures. The fresh funds raised will be used to conduct phase 2 human clinical trials for its drug candidate for vitiligo. To elaborate more, joining me now is Dr. Parul Ganju, the co-founder and CEO of Immune Biosciences. Dr. Parul, welcome to Startup Street. You claim to have developed a lead drug candidate with a first-in-class mechanism of action to treat vitiligo. Is it it is a skin depigmentation disorder that I believe currently has no cure. So how does your drug work, and how soon do you hope to get a patent for this, and when do you start with phase 2 clinical trials?
Thank you, Shruti, for having me. I mean, before I tell you how our drug works, let me just quickly give you a brief about how current treatments and management options work. Okay, the standard of care for vitiligo treatment, wherein you get white patches on the skin, is to use immunosuppressants and steroids, which may non-specifically act on your immune system and cause generalized immune suppression, leading to a lot of side effects. What many times happens is, when you stop these drugs, you can't take them for long periods of time. And when you stop them, the disease comes back with a vengeance and does not bring back color to the skin. And this is where we come in.
Yes.
We have identified mechanisms that lead to this immune deregulation, and our drug candidates work on the triggers of these immunomodulation. And that's where we don't have any effect on generalized immunity. Your immunity stays as it is. It's doing its job. But our drug works on the color-producing cells, bringing back pigmentation. So it's actually working in a holistic manner.
So tell us, what kind of assessments regarding safety and efficacy of your drug in vitiligo patients are you seeing so far? What about side effects? What is the kind of impact you see this drug making once it is in the market?
So we've already completed our first in human clinical trials, phase 1 trials, which was done in healthy human volunteers, because this is a new drug candidate. We did not see any effect on safety, right? The clinical parameters were all safe. Our phase 2 will be the first time when the drug will be tested in vitiligo patients. Having said that, before we have reached this stage, we have done extensive studies on animals, both in terms of safety and efficacy. Animal models is what our USP is. We have developed proprietary animal models for testing of our drug candidates. And in all animal testing, we've seen this drug to be very efficacious and safe. So we are very, very excited that this drug will have a huge impact
Okay.
for a disease which currently does not have a cure. So it will be a global effect that we are expecting.
All right. Let's get to the fundraise now. The funds raised will be used to expand the patent portfolio and advance your R&D efforts for other immune-mediated skin diseases. Can you share with us what's in the pipeline apart from treating vitiligo? What else are you working on?
Sure. The interesting aspect of skin diseases is that a lot of them share a common mechanism by which triggers happen. And what we have done is we've done a lot extensive testing for a small molecule therapeutics platform that we have developed, which has the capacity to treat a lot of these skin diseases. Currently, we are using that platform for atopic dermatitis and fibrosis, but the use cases are endless for it.
All right, one final question before I let you go. Talk to us about the partnerships that you've built so far. Any pharmaceutical companies that you've partnered with to co-develop the assets to maximize reach and commercial potential? And how soon do you go to market?
So we have partnerships with academic institutes and international bodies for our R&D, and we are actively speaking to the pharma companies for increasing the reach of our drug candidate. And in the next 4 years, we see this drug to be commercialized with the patients, helping them improve the outcomes for vitiligo, and something coming completely out of India, which it's not very well. India is not very well known for drug discovery, and that's what we are trying to change now.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Parul, for joining us on Startup Street. And once again, we wish you the very best for your phase 2 clinical trials. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Shruti.
With that, it's time for us to head into a short break. But coming up, Pepsales, an AI-led product demo automation platform, has secured $1.1 million, led by Charate Ventures. We tell you more about their products and their plans to utilize these funds on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Startup Street. Let's go across to Ritu for some more funding action. Ritu.
Well, Pepsales, an AI-powered SaaS platform for sales teams, has raised $1.1 million in a pre-series funding round to scale its operations. The round was led by Chirate Ventures, with participation from angel investors in the Bay Area and founders and CXOs from India's startup ecosystem. Founded in 2023, Pepsales leverages artificial intelligence and machine learning to help B2B SaaS companies create personalized product demos for potential buyers. For more on this and the funding round, joining me now is Ajay Singh, the co-founder and CEO of Pepsales. Ajay, thanks very much for your time here today. Start by telling us briefly about Pepsales, the product you're solving for, and the size of the opportunity that you're chasing.
Definitely. First of all, thank you so much, Ritu, for inviting me to present here about Pepsales and tell you about all the exciting stuff that we are working on. Pepsales is an AI platform which is helping the B2B SaaS companies create personalized product demos for their buyers. We are going after a fairly large market opportunity. If you think about enterprise software application market, this is a very large market, and just the sales and marketing expense of enterprise software companies is more than $190 billion. That is the market size that we are going after. The problem that we solve is, when we started the company back in 2023, Abhinandan and I, we first started with the market research, and we went out and spoke to more than 140 sales leaders working with more than 80 top B2B SaaS companies in the world. And we realized that the biggest frustration and the biggest challenge is that the product demos are mission critical in the sales process, but most of the sales teams, they use generic or one size fits all product demos in their process. Now imagine if you are a software company and you are giving your demo to Nike, which is your potential buyer. If you show your demo, which is meant for Nike, that is great. But if you're showing to them a demo which is for Mercedes, the chances are that you are not going to close this deal. So we help the companies to solve this particular challenge. Our AI and ML proprietary algorithm helps the companies to create personalized product demos within 3 clicks. That is exactly what we are doing in Pepsales.
Well, with that $1.1 million in pre-series funding, what are the immediate priorities for you to scale operations? How exactly are you going to deploy this capital?
We want to develop an enterprise-grade AI platform for B2B SaaS companies. The second is, we want to keep our focus on expanding our presence in the US market and in the India market. The third is to build a team of product engineers and AI talent so that we can execute on the vision that we have at Pepsales.
All right, and how many clients does Pepsales already have, and how many more in the pipeline, say, over the next year or so?
Yeah, so we ended up speaking with more than 80 B2B SaaS companies, and all of them were highly interested in trying out our product. So we started working with close to 10 companies as of today. We have just raised our funding, so obviously we will have to amp up our product engineering and customer service function to ensure that we can onboard more clients who have already signed up with us.
Ajay, what exactly is the business model here? Is it a one-time fee? And what are the company's current revenues and profits, and what are your projections for the near term?
I think the main focus is to make sure that our customers are successful and we deliver to them in very tangible ways the outcomes. The outcomes are that using our product, they should be able to increase their win rates. They should be able to reduce their sales cycle, and they should be able to improve their seller productivity. That is where our focus is. Our pricing is going to be a mix of usage-based pricing as well as based on the SaaS license. That is what we are planning as of today.
Okay, as we see, Pepsales is focusing on the US and India markets currently. Are those going to remain the key focus areas, or are there other geographies you're looking to tap into?
US in itself is a large market of B2B SaaS companies. There are companies which are in marketing automation, sales automation, cybersecurity. We are seeing a lot of growth in that segment as well. So that will remain as our focus. India market is also very important for us because India in the last few years, because of the success of very large companies like Freshworks and Zoho, has become a very prominent market of B2B SaaS companies who are not only serving the Indian customers, but they're also serving the global market. So US and India will continue to be our primary focus for the next 2 years. We are getting a few signups from European market as well as UK market, but currently our focus will remain on US and India.
All right, Ajay, we're going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.